So I thought I'd go ahead and do what it's like to do one lap up to San Francisco video. I've done it with a car, and now I'm going to do it with the train. This is the first stop. This is where we get on the Gold Line train at the Sierra Madre stop. So it's my usual set of bags. I'm actually carrying more today than I usually do. Usually I just have a laptop bag. Today I'm taking an additional laptop bag. I have another bag of stuff that I'm hauling up north. So I just got on the train in a couple of minutes. It'll pull out, and it takes about 30 minutes to get to Union Station where I change trains. So I'll shoot another video at Union Station, or maybe along the way. The ride is kind of entertaining. There's plenty of stuff to see. LA's a beautiful town, and the weather today is really good. The train is taking off. I wanted to show you what the view is like here. It's pretty clear because it rained yesterday, and the nice view of the mountains. The Gold Line here runs down the middle of the freeway, so both sides you just see cars going back and forth. A lot of concrete is part of the view, but there's a lot of interesting buildings and stuff too.
Thank you. Those are.
Okay, so now this is Union Station. It's the end of that stop. This is the train I just took, the one that's here behind me. That's a Gold Line train. It comes to, it runs all the way, well, I don't bother telling you what the train stations are. Anyway, at Union Station here, I switch to another train, an Amtrak train that goes up the coast and happens to incidentally stop right next to the Burbank Airport. Interestingly, this train behind me brings me all the way from Monrovia to downtown LA, which is like a 30-minute ride, and it costs $1.50. The Amtrak train, which doesn't go nearly as far, costs $8.50 to get me to the airport. So that's, I'm not sure what that says about pricing, but it's definitely interesting. One of the cool things about going through downtown LA, well, there's two. One of them is Little Tokyo is really close, so I can always wander over there and, I don't know, buy manga or buy a book or have ramen or something like that. The other thing is you get to go through Union Station, which is an incredibly beautiful old Art Deco building. It must be, I don't know how old it is. It's been here forever. So it's been extended. They added connections for all the local train lines and stuff through here. And then there's a giant bus terminal at the far end, which you can grab buses that will take you all over the city too. Anyway, there's also some nice restaurants here, snack shops, and that kind of stuff. So it's outfitted kind of like an airport, except there's way less security, so it's not nearly as annoying or threatening or hostile. Another way that traveling by train is different from traveling by air is you can just wander right outside the terminal anytime you want, because there's not a zillion metal detectors and stuff like that. This is the inside courtyard of the Union Station building. I'd show you the view from a distance, except I have to walk a long way, and I don't have that kind of time right now. But anyway, it's really nice, and of course the weather's beautiful like it always is. Yeah, one other interesting architectural feature. So the trains all run across the top, and Union Station has this tunnel, which is behind me right now, that basically runs underneath all the trains. So you walk through this tunnel, and then there are gates that basically take you up to the various tracks to catch, you know, whatever train that you want. I'm going to head down to gate F now to catch the Surfliner train, which Surfliner train, even though I'm only taking it to the Burbank Airport, if I was to stay on that train for 11 more hours, it would eventually get me to San Francisco, which is something I've thought about doing, because it seems, I've heard that the trip is nice, and there's lots of nice scenery. It goes right along the ocean and for a long ways, but for the time being, I'm just going to take it to the airport and take this shortcut. And this is the Amtrak train. It's a little different. They're gigantic for one thing. They're much bigger than airliners. For the local rides, if you're not disabled, you ride on the upper deck, which has a nicer view anyway. And the seat's pretty huge. The downside of Amtrak, of course, is it's slow, incompetent, and super expensive. But aside from that, everything's great. The infrastructure is pretty nice. The ride is quiet, and there's electric power, and lots of room to work and that kind of stuff. So let's see. I guess the view from here going up to Burbank isn't necessarily great. I'll take a couple shots and see if you can see kind of what it's like. Otherwise, I think I'll do some work now. So leaving LA, not super scenic. Lots of industry, cool old bridges, a lot of interesting infrastructure in this part of LA. And of course the hillside stuff in the distance. This is pretty typical what it looks like, going pretty much all the way up to Burbank. Although we'd see, we're probably on the right side to see the Hollywood sign. Might be able to see that. I'll take a picture if we do. Yeah, the bridges in this part of town are pretty cool. We're going along the LA River. Let's see if there's another bridge up there. It's very Art Deco. Let's see. Oh, probably not this bridge. This one's not looking so Art Deco. No, this isn't pretty modern. But anyway, maybe I'll get a picture of a better one on the way. Not sure you can see it, but this time of year there's always snow on the mountains, which makes for kind of a cool backdrop to the city, since you've got this tall range of mountains that surrounds you, and the highest peaks are white this time of year. There's the snow resort. Oh, there. Let's see some business street. They form kind of this constant backdrop.
Glendale Station on Glendale.
Amtrak stop. This is where you get off the train. Back here, this is a pretty nice spot. There's a lot of mountains off in the distance. The airport here always has a great view. When you go out to the plane, which you do on the ground, here you walk out on the tarmac and you go up some steps to get on, just like it's an older airport. And you're in the middle of this big flat space. And the view is really good. Anyway. Let's go to the airport. This is that tarmac walk I was talking about. You walk out to the plane, you board on the back of the plane, or you can board on the front of the plane, and there's all this great scenery. Fuel trucks and shit out here. Still, it's kind of refreshing to be able to walk out to your plane instead of being entirely in the sterile environment of an airport. Off the plane, Oakland Airport, and from here take a bus to BART, and that's the way that works. So it's a pretty short walk from the, I guess I can go down the stairs here. And so this is BART. This is the fourth or fifth vehicle, depending on whether you count the car ride that I got to the first train station. So now we head to the Coliseum BART station to catch that train. So today the BART actually arrived 2 minutes before the train, which is good timing. Usually it arrives 2 minutes after, and there's 20 minutes of waiting. This is the Coliseum that the BART platform looks like. The Coliseum is right behind it back there. So now we get on the BART, and the BART will take me pretty much to the front door. Oh, that's the end of the BART ride. Now we're climbing the stairs to go back to get up to the station above the train. BART in this part of town is all underground, which is kind of nice. In terms of transit, the trains are really fucking noisy and the tunnels don't help much. Now we're through the ticket barrier and everything, and climbing the last long flight of stairs up to the city. This is my hood. Let's see. Well, I guess I can't flip the camera out, so here's the hood. It has tall buildings. Like there's a tall building I'm walking under right now. And it's a few hundred feet up around the corner. And then you get to my place. I'll show you that in just a second. And one of the house street performers. So this is the little courtyard. Whoops. This is the courtyard out in front of my place. Around here, this is the alley that goes into the building. That red brick building is the place that I live at. So we'll be going in there in just a second. More tall buildings. This is the looking straight up the alleyway that you walk to get to my house. There's like 50, 60-story buildings on both sides of this place. And this is kind of cool. This is a little cafe in the corner of our building. It's like chocolate and espresso and various things like that. And this is the entrance to my building right here. And this is the immediately across from the entrance. There's a restaurant. This is a dim sum place, so I pretty much never eat there. And this is coming down the home stretch. This is the lobby of the building. There's our chandelier that Karen's not super fond of. That's the entrance into the courtyard. Let's go. So my place is right off the courtyard. In fact, it's on the right back there. Let's see. So now we go down the hallway. Check the mail a minute before my battery runs out. Check the mail. If there's anything in here. Oh, magazines. Looks like Karen crap. And let's see. Okay. Mailbox closed. And then this is the hallway down to the unit. We're heading down there now. Very hotel-like, isn't it, this place? Got in on the ground floor here. And now, let's see, where's my house key at? Yeah. That the house key? That's not the house key. Normally I would take my sunglasses off at this point. Okay. Inside. Lights on. And the lights are already on. And here we are home. I can take my... So, upstairs, the office is the dark place. There's the window into the courtyard. And the kitchen here is behind me. And now I'm home. So that was one run up to San Francisco. Let's see. I guess it was a total of 6 modalities of transportation. I got a ride from a friend, Andy, to the metro station. Took the metro down to Union Station. I switched to Amtrak, which I took to the airport. Then I got on an airplane, and then I flew up here. Then I got on an AirBart bus that took me to BART, and BART took me to my house. So I would guess that's an hour on the ground before the plane, an hour of ground transport in LA, an hour of ground transport up here, an hour waiting for the plane because you got to get to the airport an hour ahead of time to budget for TSA incompetence, an hour in the air, and probably an hour of slack. So it's 4 or 5 hours total round trip, which is a bit less than it takes to drive, probably. Not a lot less than it takes to drive, if all the timing and stuff works out the way that you want it to. It costs about the same. It's $10 on the ground on either side, maybe $70 for the plane, $60 for the plane if I buy the ticket ahead of time. So $110. Gas is less than that, but you know, wear and tear on the car and stuff like that easily makes the drive a $100 proposition. So, but the one nice thing about doing it this way, well, first of all, you get lots of exercise because you walk a lot from one modality to another. It's a little more stimulating. You have a little bit more downtime and that kind of stuff. It beats just like sitting in a car seat for 5 hours or 6 hours straight. So not bad, kind of an enjoyable alternative, and I've been doing this a lot instead of driving.